medicine rather than proactive medicine. And this is a problem that all physicians, hospitals, or even payers have. They don't know anything else besides billable incidents of care. And so we tried to solve that by building a patient engagement platform that really forms what we like to call a care triangle that brings the patient, the clinicians, and the pharmacy underneath one platform in essence. And what we do is we integrate into patient medical records, wearables, health data, health apps, you name it, whatever data is out there, we do that. We integrate into it and we form this 360-degree view of a patient. We've seen that this engagement leads to better outcomes. We're seeing an increase in medication adherence. And at the end of the day, if we're able to change patient behavior, it leads to healthier patients. So you have lower costs to the healthcare system as a whole. We've had a lot of traction in the last year and a half or so. In 2020, we validated the pharmacy use case. We pivoted from general pharmacy to specialty, really focused on specific verticals. We have over 45,000 patients in our database. We've integrated into different HIEs, which gives us access to 93 million patient lives. A number of hospital partnerships ranging from UPMC to Sinai to UCSF. These hospitals, using our technology, have won multiple grants. We were just recently approved by New York State for COVID vaccine administration, and as of April 2021, we have 1.1 million in monthly recurring revenue from our targeted patients, and we're projecting about 25 by the end of the year. Again, post funding. We're focused on a couple of key markets. The one that we're initially focused on are transplant patients, and we plan on expanding into infectious disease, fertility, and chronic disease prescriptions where the patients have 10 or more medications. The opportunity is pretty large. There's 150 million patients with chronic disease. Of those, approximately 400,000 are transplant patients. If we're a rounding error, in essence, by just acquiring 3,000 patients, we'll be doing close to $1 million in profit per patient per month. And each patient, every transplant patient is worth about $300 in profit per patient per month. This is our product. We've built out telehealth, the ability to pull and aggregate medical records, the digital pharmacy side. We've built, in conjunction with our hospital partners, a health-related quality of life tool. You're able to show real-time analytics, and there's curriculum modules as well. In essence, this data that we're putting together is what we like to call that 360-degree view of a patient. Unlike our competitors who only have access to certain amounts of data in terms of the prescription side, with our integrations, we have access to everything from wearable data to medical records to patient engagement. And all of this comes together and we're able to build machine learning and AI algorithms which can eventually predict future outcomes. This is our competitive landscape. We really started on the right-hand side as a digital pharmacy and have kind of come to the center where we are, the center of health data, telehealth, the pharmacy side, obviously, as well as remote patient monitoring. This is what we've done in terms of technology development. All of this that you see here, the telemedicine, the patient monitoring, a drug database, medical record integration, and digital pharmacy, it's all built. This is not vaporware. This is not an ID on a napkin. This is real technology that's built and functioning. This is the team. I'm a physician with an investment management background. I've also done a master's in healthcare delivery leadership from Mount Sinai. I've been in digital health for approximately 10 years, taking on roles as a chief medical officer or a chief investment officer. And I've spent, I'd say, the last 10 years really focused on chronic disease management and patient engagement. We have a number of other team members, such as Nehal, who's been in digital health for 10 years, Scott, who has about 25 years of healthcare experience, Kelly, who's been around for about 15 years, and Varun, who's the head of the Methodist ACO, and Albert has been in technology for about 15 years. Our advisors, heads of departments, heads of hospital systems, heads of residency programs. These are very senior individuals who really joined this company and came on the board when it was really an idea, not when we were doing millions of dollars in revenue. Our ask, we're looking to raise about $5 million. This will be our Series A round. I self-funded the business. I had a couple of physician investors as well initially, and we're really looking to scale the business and start pharmacy fulfillment to this specific targeted vertical and build out the team.
Thank you for Mohammed from My RX 365 for providing us with valuable insight. Michael Shi, you're on deck from Curagram. Please be ready to present after this judging session. Judges, we're now open for questions. Okay, and now I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock for questions from judges. Start when you're ready.
I have a question. Government regulation changes in telehealth on the horizon. Do you have any updated information on where it's going?
Sure. So in terms of telehealth, we don't actually provide or bill for telehealth. The patient's care team, who's their already pre-existing care team, is the one that coordinates with them and deals with that. We just provide the platform. So
Right.
we're just a platform for that.
I'm curious about the business model. Can you talk a little bit more about how the business model is structured, especially on the revenue side, and what type of revenues you've been able to accrue so far from your government contracts related to COVID?
Sure. So number one, our revenue 100% is from pharmacy fulfillment. We target specific verticals within the pharmacy space, as I mentioned. We're currently targeting the transplant side, which we've been working on for the last year and a half or so. In terms of our government contracts, we're actually contracted with New York State only, and that was recently a few weeks ago. Our first shipment of vaccines actually just arrived last night, and so we're going to be starting administering doses, I believe, Friday morning. So as of right now, no revenue from that side.
Okay.
I had a quick follow-up for the monetization of the app. So the platform, you said that it's like $300 per patient. Can you explain like who actually pays, who is the responsible, because it could be a lot of players within the platform you have.
Sure. So the quick and simple answer to that is that the PBMs are the ones who pay. Just how you go to CVS or Walgreens or any place else, you pay your copay, and if you have insurance, then the insurance company pays the difference. So our monetization is fairly simple. We receive a prescription, we bill insurance, we deliver the meds. Your standard copays, let it be $0, $50, whatever your actual copay is, that's what it is. It remains the same, and then 2 to 6 weeks later, we get reimbursed by the PBM or the insurance company.
All right. Any other questions? We still have 2 minutes and 39 seconds left.
Is there any proprietary encryption in your platform that we should know about?
Yeah, it's our technology is obviously encrypted. We're HIPAA compliant. Everything that takes place, even our integrations, are through different vendors. Let it be things such as Particle Health or Health Gorilla, Validic. So we're all using 256-bit encryption.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Mohammed. We really appreciate
you.
you presenting. If anybody has any other questions, please ask them now. If not, we'll continue on to the next presenter here. All right. So our second presenting company is Michael Shi from Curagram. Michael, are you there?
Hey.
Okay. Michael is a post-revenue company. Curagram is a leading HIPAA-compliant texting and telemedicine platform that helps optimize the front desk of medical offices with two-way texting, video chat, AI-enabled automated reminders, electronic patient forms, and automated online patient review. Curagram's proprietary integration technology syncs with any EMR and allows an office to get started in as little as 48 hours. I will put 5 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
Yep. Can you see my screen? Hello? Frank, can you hear me?
You're not sharing yet, Mike.
I have done the share. I think it took me off.
There we go. Now we see it.
All right. I will put 5 minutes on the clock and we're ready when you are.
Oh, you just went out of presenter view there.
Apologize.
There you go. Perfect.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Shee. I'm the COO of Curagram. And to give you a few quick highlights on the company, we've grown the organization from less than 30 people to over 250 team members since the beginning of 2020. We launched our virtual urgent care business line in 2020 that I'll talk about more, and we became profitable in July of last year. In terms of investment, we're looking for a minimum $5 million for a Series A round. We have 2 lines of business, including our SaaS business, where we sell our SMS and telemedicine software platform to medical offices, and that is generating $90,000 in monthly recurring revenue, or a little over $1 million annual recurring revenue. And our clinical services business, in the virtual urgent care business, has been generating an average of $700,000 in monthly revenue in Q1 of this year. We've got a great balanced team of founders with experience in engineering, business, and medicine. And to date, we've been funded by more than 100 medical professionals. Give you a background on Curagram. We started the company based on the thesis that healthcare communication technology was severely outdated and fragmented, and is focused on providers instead of patients, which we felt like was the root cause of many problems in the industry. So we set out to solve that problem by building a secure texting and messaging platform that was EMR independent, offered both desktop and mobile user interfaces for all the parties involved, but was ultimately patient-centric. Our platform includes a web app for offices that's used by front desk staff and doctors, as accompanying mobile version. For patients, we enable them to communicate with medical offices through traditional SMS, or a rich HIPAA secure mobile app that allows them to communicate with multiple offices from a single app, being patient-centric. And our platform also offers video chat to support telemedicine services. Usage of the platform has grown tremendously over the last few years, reaching nearly 400,000 unique patient conversations per month and 12,000 clinical side users. And I'll take a second to explain how we distribute our mobile patient app, because I think it's important to understand for our overall business model. And basically, we provide medical offices software that enables them to text their patients over traditional SMS. Front desk staff use the software every day, all day long, to communicate with patients, reduce their phone call volumes by as much as 50%. And most of the communication is non-PHI, such as appointment reminders, scheduling changes, Google rating requests, and those are handled over traditional SMS. But when the office sends the patient a medical document or a secure message, the patient is required to download our mobile patient app in order to view those documents or secure messages. The patient can receive secure information from multiple offices in one centralized app, and they are the owner of that digital wallet, not the providers. This creates value to the patient, but also onboards the patient into our mobile patient app environment, which we now have access to them directly. With this direct access, we're able to deliver monetizable services like telemedicine direct to the patient. To review the 2 parts of our business, the first is our SaaS business, where we sell communication software directly to medical offices, and that estimated to be $1 billion market opportunity today. The second part of our business is delivering virtual urgent care services direct to patients via telemedicine. And the market size for telemedicine services estimated to be $34 billion today, projecting to grow 5x to $100 billion in the next 5 years. The COVID-19 pandemic has really changed the trajectory of our business. And first of all, the need for remote care and social distancing increased the demand for texting and telemedicine software. And then demand for telemedicine, demand for COVID-related clinical services like testing and vaccinations opened the door for us to launch our own virtual urgent care business, where we leveraged our own telemedicine and texting platform. We started by working with Sean Penn's charity group, CORE, where our software powered their testing sites in New York City and Georgia. And then we were asked by our hometown, the city of Irvine, not only to provide software for the city's COVID testing site, but to provide clinical services for the site as well. And that's how we launched our virtual urgent care business. Given one of our co-founders has been a primary care and urgent care operator for the last 10 years, we had the in-house capability to expand into this service offering, which is always part of our long-term vision in delivering services directly to patients. Most recently, we received a contract from the state of Georgia to run mobile vaccine sites throughout the state in partnership with CORE. Today, our virtual urgent care division is the largest user of our own software platform, which has actually led to a lot of improvements in our platform in a very short period of time. We've grown very quickly and operating at more than 10,000 patient visits per month. And while that virtual urgent care business is focused on COVID today, we understand that demand for this visit type will likely have a finite lifespan. We're funneling the profits we're generating from these COVID-related visits into marketing channels for non-COVID visit types. And we believe we can build a $50 million SaaS business and $100 million telemedicine business over the next 4 years.
Thank you, Michael, for your valuable time with us today. Sean O'Brien, you're on deck. Please be prepared to present after this judging session. We will now open questions to judges. Okay, judges, I now have 5 minutes on the clock. Thank you, judges, for taking the time to get further details. And go ahead and ask the questions that you so desire.
I have one question sorry, Doug, go ahead, Dr. Shibero.
Just, this is a short one. Curiosity over medical legal liability doing virtual emergency medicine or telemedicine.
I'm sorry, what is your question specifically?
Question is the liability side. What is the medical malpractice piece to cover your services?
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than what all our clients, clinical clients have today as well. I mean, we're just like everyone. We're delivering telemedicine services, for, in this case, our virtual urgent care services. Dr. Kazizadeh, one of our co-founders, has his own urgent care, and this, delivering that same type of care over telemedicine, and he's got his malpractice to cover that.
So it's just your platform, and it requires no insurance on your end. It's all the practitioner, the provider's responsibility.
Yeah. So just to be clear, we have two sides of the business. One is our software platform, in which we're enabling clients to use our software to communicate with their own existing patients, and those providers are generally ambulatory scheduled care type clients, specialists, imaging centers, things like that. And we really don't serve urgent care because our platform is really designed to leverage scheduled appointments. And that's really synergistic with our clinical services division, which is providing virtual urgent care services, because now our patients that are coming in to see us for virtual urgent care services, we can refer them into our ecosystem of specialists who are using our platform already for just a pure software element today.
Thank you.
What would you say your main competitive differentiators are? This is a fairly, healthcare communication, telemedicine is becoming a quickly saturated market. But to your credit, you've gotten a lot of customers and some fairly fast growth. So what would you say your key differentiators are?
One of the key differentiators is our ability to integrate with virtually any EMR in 48 hours. So we're very active on the marketplace and API platforms that exist, but for many of the 600 EMRs out there, they don't have marketplaces, they don't have APIs, public APIs. So we have our own proprietary integration that allows us to very quickly sync the data necessary to run all the automated text messages for our platform. So that's a big differentiator. We can onboard a customer in 1 to 2 days, and they can easily start using the software, and within 2 to 3 months, they see their phone call volumes drop by 50%, and that's a huge stickiness factor for them. I mean, once they're in, we give them a free 30-day trial. If they actively use the software, it's really a no-brainer for them.
Right. So we also have questions from our audience as well. Steffi, do you want to ask a question, or do you want to leave some time for the audience as well?
I have one quick question. Since you have two business models for the urgent care model, what is the customer acquisition cost? So you're saying you're trying to funnel from the other model, the texting,
it's a great
the
question.
appointments. What is the bridge between both models?
Yeah, it's a great question. So right now we're focusing on developing direct B2C client acquisition. Today we're focused on paid acquisition, but we're building the long-term systems and channels to reduce that customer acquisition cost, which we think will be a differentiator for us, because as you saw from our software, we're onboarding patients into our app environment at zero cost to us by virtue of our SaaS clients, because they're sending patients documents that requires them to download our HIPAA secure app, And when they download that app, that's into a Curagram environment that we now have access to market those patients, deliver them telemedicine services directly. And it's a synergistic funnel because, if we can't, take care of their urgent needs and they have issues that require additional specialty care, we can send those patients back into our providers that are using our software in the ecosystem. And so it's a very synergistic model. And over time, we believe will lower our cost of acquisition compared to competitors who are relying on direct acquisition.
All right, guys. Looks like we're running out of time here. We have fireside chat later in a little bit, later today. So you'll be able to ask more questions to Michael. Michael also has a booth. So if you're an investor wanting to talk to Michael, please reach out to him in his booth. Go into his booth. You can autonomously enter his booth at any time. Go ahead and enter that booth and ask him any questions you may have. All right. Thank you so much, Michael. We really appreciate it. And if you want to talk to Michael, either contact our staff or actually go in his booth. You can converse with him there. All right. Our next presenter is Sean from Genomind. Sean, we really appreciate your valuable insight and pitch deck and pitch as well. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock with regards to your pitch. I just want to really quick introduce Genomind. Really great company that I've been talking to for the last 4 months or so. Genomind is an 11-year-old digital mental health company delivering precision medicine to mental health patients and mental wellness consumers through its class-leading genetic testing and digital platforms. Genomind is leading the evolution of mental health care and is on a mission to become the mental health company. So just to be clear, everyone, so if you didn't hear, the first 3 companies are multi-million-dollar companies that have presented. Genomind is, I'm not sure what you're doing in ARR currently, but you can mention that, I'm sure. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock. Sean, are you ready?
Frank, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. Frank, thanks very much for the opportunity. As Frank said, my name is Sean Patrick O'Brien, Chairman and CEO of Genomind. I'm here to share with you how your investment helps build the multi-billion-dollar digital mental health company. This investment opportunity in a rapidly growing market. The digital space is large, and the healthcare system for mental health is broken. And we have high margin digital solutions to bring to the market. Over time, we've seen scary numbers in the mental health situation. These numbers are not doing well as we enter into the COVID marketplace. And all this data is before COVID hit. And now with COVID.
Hey, Sean, sorry to interrupt you. Are you sharing your presentation right now?
I am.
I don't think you're sharing it into the Zoom. If you want to just double check that real quick. Sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
There we go. It's coming up. All right, perfect.
Apologies.
Andrew.
So this COVID increase has dramatically increased not only for the general public, but our healthcare providers and employers across the nation are concerned about the impact that COVID had due to social isolation that we've seen over the last 12 months. Genomind has 2 products that have access to over 100 billion mental health cap in the mild to moderate for our non-prescription product, Mental Health Map, and Professional PGX for medication management going forward. Traditionally, we've looked at the environment, lifestyle, experiences as we deliver mental health care, and Genomind uniquely brings genetics to the picture, bringing the Mental Health 360 to care going forward. All these new tools that have emerged during the pandemic and driven greater access for many can benefit for the Genomind genetic tools and leverage a more complete mental health 360 and delivery care. We have over 300,000 patients and 15,000 clinicians using our services today. Genomind is now structured to actually deliver care and enhance care from cradle to grave and up from what we call mental wellness, curiosity, right up to a mental health crisis. Mental Health Map, our most recently introduced product, is the expert starting point for your mental wellness journey. We look at 7 core genetic mental health capabilities, such as stress and anxiety, mood, focus, memory, intention, substance use, etc., and eating behavior. And this product is getting really well received at Amazon.com and as well in the media. Frida Pinto, Jordan Sparks, and now recently Kevin Love have all endorsed the product and sharing their views. In addition, we're partnered with NAMI, Mental Health America, and all the various .orgs to bring these resources to the market. Our pharmacogenetic test has been in play for almost 10 years, and we have the most comprehensive panel, the most accurate results, fast delivery, and we complement that with our GenMed Pro that looks at not only the 130 mental health medications, but over 400 medications that could be used for other diseases in combination. So we have demonstrated we can save over $2,000 per member in the first 6 months when they use our pharmacogenetic test, and shown at 87% in clinical improvement and twice the likelihood of remission if patients go through our pharmacogenetic test. GenMed Pro is a precision drug gene interaction guide, and it takes it to the next step to find those issues that cost the system a lot of money and a hardship with drug-drug interactions. Our lab is second to none, as I mentioned, and we return the product back to the results on the portal to the patient and the physician within 36 hours. Genomind's at a tipping point. We're building $1 billion business potential. We've a new PGX product is superior to the marketplace. We have a scalable platform. We're investing in reimbursement, sales, marketing. We have DTC, B2B, e-commerce, and RX capabilities. And the launch of our new DTC product, Mental Health Map, opens up to a lot of behavioral health businesses. We've had solid progress in 2020, 18 million cash revenue. Going forward, we expand our coverage to 100 million lives. We ship our products directly to the patients. We have seen our revenue heading now towards 34 million in 2021. We're on track on first quarter, and we're pursuing strategic tuck-ins. Our revenue shows 250 million in the next 3 years with 35% EBITDA, as shown here graphically. And we have a Series D that we're just completing with less than 5 million left of 20 million that we've raised. And this drives our opportunity to penetrate the Medicare marketplace. This will lead to an opportunity to expand our investment in the business and rapidly grow as we prepare for an IPO in 2022. And I'm supported by a great team of leaders who's been successful in employers, healthcare systems, and the consumer. Great scientific advisory board. I'm happy to talk to anybody during our session here in the Q&A, and also during our booth time. Over to you, Frank.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sean. We appreciate your valuable insight. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock for the judges. Bryce, you're on deck, and you'll present after your after our sponsor discussion and quick 10-minute booth breakout room session. Please be ready to present after a scheduled networking time. We will now open questions for the judges. Okay, judges, I'll now have 5 minutes on the clock. Please begin.
Hi, Sean. Just follow up. You mentioned briefly that you're pursuing a reimbursement strategy. Is it right now, since it's focused directly to patient and there's no prescription needed, what is the next steps to try to?
So we have 2 core products. Our prescription product that looks at the 130 mental health medications that are prescriptions, and that guides the clinicians to use the right medications based on the genetic profile. That is covered now by over 100 million. We have over 100 million covered lives. We just got Medicare in the first part of this year, United Health. We have a few other large commercial plans. So that reimbursement exists, and we have coverage with the VA. For Mental Health Map, it will always be out-of-pocket pay. It's FSA and HSA eligible, and the list price on it is $4.99. That answer your question?
Yeah. Just because since you have 2 products, one of them is more patient-driven versus the other one that is like education.
But most of the traction for Mental Health Map is really coming out of the employer market now to augment the telehealth and putting people on the right journey. It gives them the genetics of why they're predisposed to certain behavioral issues, and then allows them to tailor a plan that works for them based on the genetics.
I'll ask a question that actually I just saw pop up in the chat as well. Can you talk a little bit about the clinical utility and evidence that was used to generate this genomic assay?
So for the PGX product, that is all based on CPIC, FDA, and the Dutch Working Group guidelines. We've continually augmented from 8 genes now up to 24. We cover anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, and ADHD. And so that's been all curated over time. We continually bring the most scientific relevant literature based on a level of evidence to actually curate the results. When it came to developing Mental Health Map, which took us over 4 years to bring it to the market, we had a first iteration and evolved that. We have a scientific advisory board and took the same kind of process we do for a prescription product to bring that product to the market. It's fully annotated on the website, so if people want to see all the literature associated with it, on mentalhealthmap.com, they can see all the literature supports the results that we share with the audience.
And kind of along the same lines, from a regulatory perspective, what levels of approval did you need from the FDA? Was this a PMA? Was it a 510K?
So LDT, laboratory derived tests, are not covered by the FDA. And as you know, recently in the COVID period, they shifted out all over to CLIA. They were CAP, CLIA, and New York State Department of Health certified.
Okay.
All right. You know what we're gonna do is I know we have about 1 minute and 50 seconds on the clock. I want to open it up to 1 or 2 questions from the actual audience. I want to do something a little bit different this time. So if somebody from the audience, by the way, Sean has a booth breakout as well. But if you're in the audience and you want to ask Sean a question, we're going to pull you up briefly. This is kind of off the cuff, but we want to allow people to engage with our presenters as well. So Arun wants to ask a question. Amanda, do you want to let her or spotlight her? And Aruna, go ahead and ask your question to Sean and we'll go from there.
Hi, Sean. Great presentation. Just wanted to understand what happens when DTC customers do the test and the test says, has some sort of a diagnosis or says that the consumer has a propensity for some sort of a mental health condition. What happens after? Is there some sort of a counseling offered? Just wanted to understand that better.
So so thanks for that question. And ours is not a diagnostic tool, but it actually just demonstrates your genetic profile relative to those 7 predispositions we talked about. And they get a full portal view and they can go as deep as they want on each issue. With each test comes a free consult with our brain trust advisors, and they take them through all the material. If the consumer feels or our team feels that they need some professional help, we will guide them to social workers, professional psychologists, or psychiatrists as they need. So we have a full referral program for them to go on their mental wellness journey.
Does that make you legally liable? Like, if a consumer
we give them a list of people to choose from and recommendations. So it doesn't make us liable if they take the care on them. If this is a journey that they initiate and we just guide them with the right tools, we have all the information from NAMI, Mental Health America, American Lung Association, etc. So they don't have to go to what I would call Dr. Google to get the information. It's all in their portal.
Got it. Thank you.
Also, if you want to ask a question, so we're done with questions right now with Sean specifically. But if you want to ask questions for the future, what you want to do is you want to keep your camera on. Don't turn your camera off because we can't spotlight you if you turn your camera off. All right. Sean has a booth breakout room. So if you want to ask questions directly to Sean, we're going to have a session, 10-minute session directly dedicated to booth breakout. So you want to wait for that. We're going to have that booth breakout session right after Alyssa from MICRA presents. So I want to call up Alyssa from MICRA, and I want to also spotlight her. Just so you guys know, and just to introduce MICRA. MICRA is a highly specialized, independently operated consulting firm and clinical research organization serving the worldwide medical device industry. MICRA is a group of leading strategists committed to integration, regulatory, clinical, reimbursement, quality assurance, and healthcare compliance strategies to facilitate successful value creation for our clients. Now, MICRA is our official sponsor. We're really appreciative of MICRA. They've done a really great job, and we feel very, very comfortable endorsing MICRA. We've dealt with the company, and we are very comfortable endorsing them, and we're not going to be sponsored by just anyone. So, Alyssa, go ahead and take it away when you're ready, and we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you, Frank. Let me share my screen here. Can you guys see that?
Perfect.
Okay, great. So yes, as Frank said, my name's Alyssa Howard. I'm the Senior Director of Business Development here at MICRA. Today, my colleague Jason Tugman and I are going to give a brief overview of MICRA and some of the services that we provide specifically in the digital health and cybersecurity space. So MICRA, as Frank just mentioned, we're a leading therapy specialized CRO. An integrated advisory firm. We have over 16 years of experience serving the medical device industry, and our main service areas are clinical study management, we're a full service CRO, US and international regulatory affairs, reimbursement support, quality assurance, compliance, and cybersecurity. We've led over 15 successful PMAs for our clients to date and supported thousands of 510Ks. Sorry. So the key to our success really is in the breadth of experience that we have on our team. We really do have the best and most experienced team in the industry. And in addition to Nikki and Jason, who I'm going to introduce in just a second, this slide shows some of the other talent that we have on the team, including more than 5 former FDA branch chiefs, and I think over 20 FDA officials across various therapy areas, as well as reimbursement leaders in every therapeutic discipline and biocompatibility and quality assurance experts. So while we do offer a full range of services to our clients, and we really are aiming to be a full service partner as these companies are bringing innovative solutions to market for patients. But today we're going to focus on just going through some of the services that we offer in the digital health and cybersecurity space. And so with that, I will introduce our 2 digital health and cybersecurity team leads here at MICRA, Nikki Batista and Jason Tugman. Nikki Batista is our Director of Regulatory Affairs. She was the former FDA Assistant Director in the Division of Cardiac, Electrophysiology, Diagnostics, and Monitoring Devices, which is a mouthful, but basically during her time at the agency, she was at the forefront of the digital health regulatory framework development. She participated in the digital health pre-certification program, including the streamlined review program and the excellence appraisal process, and attended the pilot excellence appraisal at Fitbit, which is the new regulatory framework that FDA is designing to meet the pace of software innovation. And then not mentioned on this side, but the newest member of the MICRA team, really as of yesterday, is Alex Cadet, who joined MICRA directly from FDA, where he was the team lead of imaging software. So he shares a lot of the same digital health background and expertise as Nikki. So we're really excited to welcome him to our team. And now I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Jason Tugman. Jason is our Associate Director of Cybersecurity Risk Management and Strategy, and leads our cybersecurity efforts here at MICRA. So I'll let Jason introduce himself and go a little bit more into detail about our services. So go ahead,
Excellent.
Jason.
All right. Thank you, Alyssa, for that introduction. As she mentioned, my name is Jason Tugman. I joined MICRA. Actually, I'm one of the few people that is a part of MICRA that didn't come directly out of the FDA. My background is in cybersecurity and cyber risk management. I actually have a lot of experience in working with investors. I've actually raised rounds back when .com was actually a word. And I currently work with investors in cyber diligence for medical products. Next slide, Alyssa. What I want to talk to you about today is the tempo that is cybersecurity at the FDA. Now, we can talk about digital health.
Sorry to interrupt, Jason, but you're not sharing the presentation anymore, I don't believe.
Oh, I thought Alyssa was going to maintain.
Let me try again. It
Yeah.
should,
Oh, no problem. There we go.
got it.
Excellent. So, if we talk about the tempo of guidance documents that are coming out, just from a cybersecurity perspective, we've got guidance on connected devices, devices in the home, pre-market guidance that is coming out that is currently in draft, replacing 2014 guidance. That new edit to that should be out literally any day, finalized next at the end of the year. There is cybersecurity regulation that the FDA is working on. There is guidance documents for software as a medical device, software in a medical device, AI, ML. So from a guidance perspective, you can see that that tempo is increasing. So staying up to speed on everything that is cybersecurity and digital health for the FDA is daunting. And that's really where MICRA can come in and help you out. Alyssa, next slide. I'm not sure if we're losing the presentation.
Yeah, it's giving me a little bit of trouble here.
I can.
How's that?
That works.
Got it.
So the first thing that you need to talk about is, are you a medical device? I think that the conversation we just had at Mental Health Map is a great example. What we look at is the spectrum. It is a risk-based spectrum, but it's also a claims-based spectrum. And on one side, you've got clearly not regulated. And on the other side, you've got clearly regulated. You're making a medical claim, you're providing diagnostics, you're providing guidance to clinicians. And in the middle, you have this big bag of maybe. And the hardest thing that a medical device manufacturer can struggle with is, do we need to go through the through FDA market acceptance? One thing that we do at MICRA is we'll do a landscape analysis, a market access landscape analysis. First, we begin at the end. We work with our reimbursement teams, because at the end of the day, if there's not a payer, our investor is really interested. And we then look all the way through the clinical trials. We talk to you about your device. We determine whether the FDA is going to consider it a medical device. Again, you saw our deep bench of former chiefs at the FDA and 20 other people or so that have came directly out. So we can do that landscape analysis for you, so you know the pathway that you need to be approaching the FDA with: PMA, de novo, 510K, and now the breakthrough designations that are possible. Next slide. And so if you talk about cybersecurity, one thing that what we need to look at is all of the guidance documents that I just mentioned. There's a total of 500 controls that you can actually apply. Do you need to apply 500 controls? Of course you don't. But if you have a connected medical device, you have to put cybersecurity controls in place. What controls, where to put them, how to describe them to the FDA, when they're applicable, when they're not applicable, the maturity that the controls need to be applied. That is a daunting conversation. Most people that make medical devices, in my experience, are former clinicians solving a problem that they had. Right? They're not cybersecurity experts. Your engineers need to spend time developing your product, not on cybersecurity. MICRA, actually myself at MICRA, we can help you understand what the FDA needs to see in order for you to gain market access. Next slide. So when we talk about services at MICRA, again, as Alyssa said, we're a full service CRO. At the beginning of your traveling journey in your medical device market access, you have your clinical trials. We can help you manage your clinical trials. From a quality management perspective, you need a quality management, a QMS in place. We can help you develop and manage your QMS. From a submission perspective, how to submit, what documentation to submit, what evidence needs to be submitted. We can help you with that. And again, everything from breakthrough designation, PMA, 510K, de novos, et cetera. And then, not to be forgotten, is that post-market. From a cybersecurity perspective, the FDA is expecting that your cybersecurity is a total product lifecycle. In other words, they want to see that your device is trustworthy at the beginning and all the way through its lifecycle. And also with that is, again, that payer side, that reimbursement side. So we can help you manage that reimbursement, those communications with the payers. Next slide. So from a cybersecurity perspective, we can offer a number of services, again, managing that trustworthy device. We can help your organization maintain its cybersecurity posture, medical device group maintain the ability to develop trustworthy devices, help you maintain the actual devices all the way through that total product lifecycle from a cybersecurity perspective. Again, it's overwhelming, but for us, we can help you and be specific for what the FDA is looking for and what the guidance and regulations are looking for from cybersecurity. So with that, and I know it's a lightning round, I know Alyssa and our other colleague, Aaron Hay,